Hey guys, it's Charlie, and you are watching Subs Week on the Pagan Perspective Monday. So this week's topic comes from Blue Moon Wishes. If you haven't already, I would love to see your opinions on reincarnation. I have found evidence to support it, but I cannot figure out some sort of a theory that holds up scientifically. Do any of you guys think that this is something that could be explained via science? And if so, what are your favorite, or at least most interesting, theories you've come across so far? If not, why? Also, what do you believe happens when you die? That sort of in-between area of one life to the next. Sorry that this is so long, but please excuse any grammar mistakes, blessed be. So, okay, there are a couple things in here. Now, for one, I haven't come across any, I haven't delved into researching this from a scientific perspective, so I don't have any studies, I don't have any information, any evidence that it is scientifically accurate or that science supports reincarnation. However, I do personally believe in reincarnation. And I can't really speak on what sort of theories I would have as far as things that could be explained via science. So this is coming strictly from just intuitive and spiritual okay. So when I believe things because I believe them, I don't just believe them because, oh, science says to believe it, because I personally believe that the universe is extremely vast, and it's going to take a lot a lot more than we've already covered to be able to explain it. I think that there has to be a purpose or a sense of wonder in our universe, just simply because that's how we're designed to work. And so, as far as I don't have an extremely concrete, if it's not scientific, if it's not accurate, then I don't believe in it, because to me personally, it's not fun if I'm always only going to believe something that's already been proven by science. So as far as reincarnation and any theories, I don't have any theories, but I just know what I believe might happen. It could be a possibility. Now I have to throw this out there that for those who may scoff at the fact that I don't strictly want to come from a scientific background when I'm practicing spiritually, I have to throw this out there, that I'm not saying that this is the way that it is, or that it's the only way that it is, or that you also have to believe in what I believe. So please, I'm not looking for comments that say, you're absolutely ridiculous, why the fuck, blah, 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 blah. Pardon my French, I forget sometimes that I'm not on my own channel. I'm not looking for comments like that, okay? If you don't agree, or you don't think that my points are valid because it's not backed by science, then fine, live and let live. I'm just here sharing my perspective. So, with all of that being said, I do believe that reincarnation is real, or that it exists, or that it is part of everything. I believe that everything is cyclical. And I believe that all of us have lived hundreds of lives. I've never gone through a past life regression. I've never gone to any psychics and said, tell me about my past lives. I've never done past life regressions on myself. And I don't really look too much into past lives because I'm here experiencing this life at this point. Maybe sometime in the future I might want to look back and do some past life regressions. But at this point in my particular path, this is the life I'm living right now. But what I basically believe happens is that we live our life and we experience what we choose to experience in that life, both consciously and subconsciously, and then also different things that we've chosen for ourselves before we were in this incarnation. So then I believe that, you go through the whole life, you die, your physical body dies, but because you can't, everything is made up of energy, and because energy can't be created or destroyed, it just exists, the energy, it goes on. Now, this is where my thoughts differ from other people's thoughts, because other people think that energy just kind of goes on and it's just, it's energy just like any other energy, and there's no consciousness to it. But I believe that there's a consciousness to it, even a more conscious, a heightened consciousness than what we are experiencing while in physical human form. So that pulls away from the physical body, and it goes on to wherever the other world is. Some people call it heaven, some people call it Summerland. Where it goes is a place of, what I believe is a place of all-knowing, just a place of universal love and knowing. And you return to source, where you return back to all that is in a very clear, conscious state. And from there, you sit there and you've worked your whole life getting to this point, and you've lived your whole physical life getting to this point, and you stay there for a while until you get bored with knowing all conceptually and wanting again to then go out and experience it or know it all experientially. So then you decide, okay, in this next life, I'd like to experience myself as this, or I'd like to experience myself as love, or I'd like to experience myself as truth, or something like that. And so then you are reincarnated into a form, and I do believe, like, this is just personal opinion, I've got no scientific data to back this up, this is just this is just what rings true for me emotionally and intuitively, and when I hear this, it just resonates. I believe that we choose our own parents, and we incarnate again, and from there, we forget everything that we knew conceptually while we were in this kind of in-between period, this heaven or this Summerland. And we have to forget it in order to experience it, because if we already came into the world knowing it conceptually, it would take away from the whole knowing experientially thing. So then you go through life and you experience things, and as you're living your life, you also begin creating other things and manifesting other things into your life that you may have not, like, I don't know, maybe you did intentionally, I don't know what I believe on that part yet. I haven't perfected this particular idea that I have in my spirit, but then you go through the whole process all over again. And I don't necessarily believe that it has to be one right after the other, but then again, when you're back with all of source energy and you're part of all, or you're part of source, time doesn't exist. There's no such thing as time. All time is now, and all time is happening now, and I've got thoughts on that, but that would take way too long to explain in this video. So that's what I personally believe. And as far, I mean, I would be really interested to hear other people who do have scientific theories or things that could be tested, or read about things that have proven that it is possible. The only stuff that I have are reading the Near-Death Research Foundation's website, and reading people who've undergone near-death experiences and have gone over to the other side briefly and then come back to tell about it. So other than that, I don't have, I mean, I haven't read anything. I haven't actually gone forth to search for scientific proof of reincarnation or anything like that. But I certainly, I don't believe that when we die, we just stop, and then the consciousness is just over, because I think that I personally just think that we are there's too much there for me to just think that we just stop. And I actually used to know, well, a guy that I used to work with, he was atheist, and we'd have these types of conversations all the time, and his girlfriend at the time was Christian, and he could never believe why she believed in that stuff. He's like, it's so stupid that she believes in it. Like, nothing happens. You live and you die, and then you're just done. Like a car runs and then it's done, and it's no longer of use anymore. And I had said to him at one point, and he said, I really respect that you're able to actually come out and say that, because not a lot of people who are spiritual or religious can come out and say that. But I said, for me, it feels better to believe that something happens than nothing happening at all. And that's not now, since I've built my spiritual foundation and I've built my practice, I do believe in my spirit with my entire being that we don't just stop existing. And at the same time, too, even though some of it can't be explained via science, it's better for me to believe that something happens when we die, when our physical bodies die, than to believe that nothing happens, because at that point, there's that's just such a grim state to be in. I wouldn't, it's just such a, that's such a sad thought. And it doesn't make me feel very good, which means that I don't resonate with it. So I don't, that's not how I see the world. So I do believe in the afterlife, obviously, but I also believe in reincarnation. And I don't necessarily think that we have to reincarnate on this world. I believe that there are many, many other worlds and many other dimensions, and we can reincarnate in any of those as well. The only thing that I could think that comes remotely close to anything that could be scientifically sound, which is not even scientifically sound because it's just stories from people, but I've known people in my life whose children know much more than their children should know about the family history and about things that have happened before they were born. Very young children like Nozomi's age, who are able to talk about how someone was, or explain a place that they had never been to before that was explain, say you had a grandmother who passed away, and that child had never met the grandmother, but she's able to explain at 3 years old exactly what the grandmother was like and what her house was like, and maybe even then comes out to say, oh, I used to be grandma. But that's the closest. I mean, other than those things that I hear from children, I don't have anything else. And I'm totally willing to say, listen, I don't have anything else. But I know that this topic is probably going to, I don't want this topic to make people think that I'm trying to tell you guys, like, this is how it is and this is just, no, this is what I believe happens. And we won't know until we know. And if the atheists are right, then they'll never get to say, told you so, because we'll just be dead. And if I'm right, then, hey, it's going to be a beautiful place. So, with all that being said, I hope everyone has a fantastic week. And I'm sorry I couldn't give a little bit more scientific stuff on this, but I really just don't have any, and I'd rather not put anything out there than put something out there that's a bunch of BS. So I'm really looking forward to the other hosts' thoughts on this, the other subs' thoughts on this. And in the meantime, I hope all of you have a great week. I love you so much. Blessed be.